Hey guys, Delta here, and I wanted to cover how the Anarchy buff would be affecting the Starfire nade rotation, basically. I saw this video from Lucky 10p where he did all of Final Stand Caretaker's health, all of Caretaker's health during Final Stand. So I wanted to cover up some misconceptions that happened in this video. So let's go ahead and get into it. So first off, I want to cover the fact that he uses Into the Light, which gives grenades an 125% increased damage. So that was affecting his damage a lot more than we think. And his Anarchy was more on the sidelines, doing only a bit of damage. Now going into it, if you want, skip to 250. That's where I do a full breakdown of all my math and all of the numbers inside of this video. So this was my one tick test, just shooting one Anarchy on him and letting it tick just to get those numbers. And I was hitting 75,000 or 76,000, no, 72,676. So pretty good damage. Now this was my 2 Anarchy test where I let those tick. Now we're going to be getting a 20% buff, and we're ticking for 6,993 right now. And when we get a 20% buff, that should be 8,391. And in total, this hit about 96,000. And once we get the buff, it will be somewhere in the 100,000s. And I didn't calculate that, but it will be somewhere in the 100,000s. Now, next was my grenade test, where I threw one grenade to check its damage. And when you throw 2 grenades, you're going to get an ignition. And when I did my full rotation, I just added that into my numbers. And I was hitting for 65,716 per grenade, and that's pretty good for just an ability. Now on to Salvinger's Salvo. Salvinger's Salvo was hitting 27,088 per shot, and Salvinger's Salvo is just the side weapon that I use to in between my grenades recharging, and that's pretty good. You could also use Wilder Flight, which is another very good option for a GL to do demo, Anarchy, and all that. Now, next up is my full rotation, and in my full rotation, I hit 1,384,333, and this is just getting the well buff and all of that. And in total, my Anarchy was only hitting 390,818 in this total damage phase. And then when I add on the 20% buff, that's going to be 468,968. Now, going in and doing this damage rotation, I did scuff it a little bit. I could have definitely hit higher damage numbers than what I did, but these are the damage numbers that I'm going to go off of and work with and apply the buffs to. So currently inside of a well, my total damage with the Anarchy in that whole phase of the boss was 390,818, and it was ticking for 8,741 per tick. Outside of a well, I would have been ticking for 312,663 and 6,993. And then with the 20% buff, I would be hitting inside of the well 468,968, and then that would be 10,448 per tick, and outside of a well would be 375,169, and then 8,391 per tick. For my nades, they were hitting 65,716, and then the ignitions were doing 26,639. And in total, all the nades were hitting for 657,000 roughly. And then when I add the ignitions onto that, it became 79,355. Moving on, if I added Into the Light all into this, I would of course have way higher damage, but since Grasp of Avarice isn't the Valve Disciple raid, I can't use the Into the Light mods. And so I used that, and I increased my damage by 125%. So my grenades, I used that number, and I increased that by 125%. So my 65,716 number went all the way up to 147,861. And that is absolutely crazy. That is the highest damage that a grenade could do, possibly. Well, besides like storm grenades and stuff, but in a single nade. And then that turned my total damage, adding my ignitions back onto this, to 1,611,805. And that's a lot of damage. That completely passes my damage if I didn't have those mods on, in air quotes. Now, Salvengers was hitting 27,088 per shot, no well, and 33,860 per shot in the well. And I hit about 6 of those shots in the damage phase. So inside of the well, the total would have been 203,160. So for that being your side damage, it's really good, and it almost matches Anarchy's damage currently. Now in total, the damage I hit was 1,384,333, and post buff, I would be hitting 1,462,483. Now, if I added on into the light, I would be hitting 2,205,783 damage, and total damage post buff would be 2,283,933. If you guys enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and sub, and I'll see you guys in the next video.